नेटवर्क होना चाहिए। सेकंड प्रॉब्लम, अभी तो आपके पास फ्री एक्सेस है, वो आप यूज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जैसे ही आप प्रोडक्शन में जाएंगे, यानी आपने अपना कोई आइडिया बनाया और उसको स्केल किया, तो आपका प्रोडक्शन हुआ, तो आपका यूजर एक क्राइटेरिया बढ़ गया, तो वहां पर आपकी एपीआई अब काम नहीं करेगी, क्योंकि अब आपको उसका लेना पड़ेगा प्रीमियम वर्जन यानी प्रो वर्जन, क्योंकि फ्री में एपीआई प्रोडक्शन के लिए नहीं मिलती। आपको अपनी जेब भी ढीली करनी पड़ेगी। आई हैव अ सॉल्यूशन जो है जेमा, मीट दिस एलएलएम, ये भी एलएलएम है। एलएलएम कैसे? एक डेटा सेट जो आंसर जनरेट कर लो, बट ये डेटा सेट कहाँ है जेमिनी के रूप में? गूगल के क्लाउड कंप्यूटर पे, ओके। बट अब ये डेटा सेट अगर आपके लैपटॉप पे आ जाए तो क्या जरूरत है नेट की? डेटा सेट तो आप ही के पास है ना, आप जनरेट करा सकते हैं। तो ये वो डेटा सेट है जेमा, जो आपके सिस्टम में एक स्मार्ट एलएलएम की तरह डाउनलोड होगा, और जब भी आप कोई क्वेरी डालेंगे तो इसी एलएलएम में से आंसर जनरेट होगा। ये एलएलएम ब्रांडेड ही है, डोंट वरी, ऐसा ही नहीं है, वैसे आप भी बना सकते हैं अपना डेटा सेट, बट ये एलएलएम भी गूगल ने ही बनाया है। बट फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि जेमिनी क्या है? एक ह्यूज डेटा सेट जो इंटरनेट की हेल्प से ही आपको अवेलेबल हो सकती है। आप डाउनलोड करना चाहे तो भी नहीं कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा डेटा सेट है। लेकिन अगर आप एक छोटा डेटा सेट जिसमें एक कंप्लीट हिंदी, इंग्लिश, गुजराती, मराठी, मद्रासी पूरी लैंग्वेज है और पूरा कॉन्टेक्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन भी है ज्यादातर, आप उसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं और आप अपने लिए चैटबॉट बना सकते हैं ना। अगर मैं आपसे कहूंगी आप बिना जेमिनी के चैटबॉट बनाइए, तो आपको चैटबॉट का क्वेश्चन भी आपको डालना पड़ेगा, आंसर भी आपको डालना पड़ेगा। उस क्वेश्चन के साइड अगर आपने डाला नथिंग, इसका मतलब आपको एक नॉर्मल कॉन्वर्जेशन चैटबॉट बनाना है तो चाहिए थे। तो दैट्स द रीजन जेमा एक ऐसा एलएलएम है जिसमें नॉर्मल कॉन्वर्जेशन, ग्रामर, इंग्लिश, कॉन्टैक्ट सब कुछ है। आप इसे डाउनलोड करिए अपने लैपटॉप में और इसको यूज करिए। अब प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है कि हम अगर ये डेटा सेट डाउनलोड करेंगे तो क्या उसके लिए मुझे बहुत अच्छा लैपटॉप चाहिए, यानी रिसोर्सेज इश्यू हो सकते हैं ना। जेमिनी एपीआई लाइक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शन, जो कि हम गवर्नमेंट से लेते हैं, अपने घर की लाइट उसी से जलती है ना। और सोलर पैनल वो क्या है? नहीं, जेमा है, तो सोलर पैनल क्या है? वो भी तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट कर रहा है। क्या मैं उसे नॉर्मल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शन से रिप्लेस कर सकती हूँ? दैट्स इट, वी नीड बोथ। हम अगर रिप्लेस कर दें सोलर पैनल को तो नॉट पॉसिबल। हाँ, अगर मेरा कोई बहुत बड़ा प्रोडक्शन है तो भी मुझे दोनों की जरूरत पड़ेगी, यानी मुझे जेमिनी भी चाहिए और जेमा भी चाहिए, क्योंकि जेमिनी है बड़ा डेटा सेट और जेमा है छोटा डेटा सेट जिसे मैं डाउनलोड कर सकती हूं, और ये प्री ट्रेन है। इसके डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स हैं, यानी ये साइज वाइज भी अलग अलग है, क्योंकि छोटा है, लेकिन जरूरी नहीं है ना कि ये आपको हर जगह छोटा है तो इंफॉर्मेशन कम हुई ना, छोटा डेटा सेट मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन कम हुई। तो इसके बाद इंग्लिश अच्छी है, लैंग्वेज अच्छी है, लेकिन कॉन्टेक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन इसके पास कम है। जैसे जेमिनी को ज्यादातर सब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में पता है, जेमा को उतना नहीं पता। जेमा एक बेस मॉडल है, उसे लैंग्वेज के बारे में सब पता है। तो जब आप इसे डाउनलोड करते हैं तो आप यहाँ पे उसका साइज चुन सकते हैं। अगर आप इसे चाहते हैं मोबाइल पे चलाना, यानी आप कोई फ्लटर ऐप बनाना चाहते हैं और उसमें आप एक कन्वर्जेशन चैटबॉट बनाना चाहते हैं फार्मर्स के लिए, हिंदी में या गुजराती में या मराठी में, तो आपको एक छोटा डेटा सेट चाहिए जो बिना नेट के चल जाए, तो आप जेमा को ले सकते हैं। जेमा 3 140 लैंग्वेजेस में अवेलेबल है, तो इसका 1 बिलियन पैरामीटर एक बहुत छोटा साइज है जो मोबाइल के लिए अवेलेबल हो जाएगा। इसी तरीके से 4B, 12B, 27B, डिफरेंट पैरामीटर में आपके पास ये डेटा सेट है। अकॉर्डिंग योर रिसोर्सेस आप इसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। अब अगर मुझे बेस मॉडल मिल गया इंग्लिश का, मैं उसे कैसे यूज करूं? इधर एनीवन जिसके माइंड में कोई भी स्टार्टअप आइडिया है और वो चाहता है कि वो एक चैटबॉट बनाए, स्पेशली चैटबॉट, इधर एनीवन जिसके माइंड में कोई स्टार्टअप आइडिया है, कोई अपना बिजनेस खोलना चाहते हैं? सब जॉब वाले हैं यहाँ पे, मतलब मेरे से कनेक्टेड ऑडियंस कमी है। ओह बैक साइड, या प्लीज आप बताइए। लॉयर्स के लिए वेल डन, बैठ जाइए। तो अगर लॉयर्स के लिए आप ऐसा हेल्पिंग बॉट बनाना चाहते हैं तो आप या तो जेमिनी को यूज करिए, लेकिन वो भी काम तो नहीं होगा क्योंकि उसे भी आपको अपनी रिलेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन देनी पड़ेगी और नेटवर्क कनेक्टिविटी बनी रहेगी। लेकिन अगर आप उसे जेमा के साथ देते हैं तो बेस इंग्लिश तो मिल गई, लेकिन लॉयर से रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास अभी भी नहीं है। तो इसीलिए आपको देना पड़ेगा अपना डेटा सेट, जिसे अपन कहते हैं फाइन ट्यून। ये जेमा का सबसे बड़ा फायदा, क्योंकि ये ओपन एलएलएम है। ओपन एलएलएम की वजह से आप एक बेस मॉडल के साथ अपने प्रोडक्ट की, अपनी कंपनी की, अपने डोमेन की इंफॉर्मेशन को उसको दे सकते हैं, जिसे ट्रेन होने के बाद वो आपके लिए एक स्पेसिफिक डेटा आपका चैटबॉट बन जाएगा। तो ये है प्रोसेस फाइन ट्यून, जिसे हम कहते हैं, जैसे आपका मॉडल आपके हिसाब से रेडी हो जाएगा। इसके लिए हम जो टेक्निक यूज करते हैं उसको अपन कहते हैं लॉरा, बट क्योंकि आप लोग अभी इस चीज को नहीं समझ पाएंगे, दिस इज अ टेक्निक टू अंडरस्टैंड, मतलब ट्रेनिंग टू माय डेटा सेट, तो मैं इसे अभी स्किप करती हूं। यहां पे आ जाती हूं डायरेक्ट, क्योंकि अगर मैंने ये बोला कि भाई आपके पास जेमा है और आप उसे अपने डेटा सेट के साथ ट्रेन कर सकते हैं, तो माइंड में पहला क्वेश्चन आता है कि यूज कैसे करना है। जेमिनी का तो समझ में आ जाता है कि भाई अपन सीधे गूगल या स्टूडियो पर जाएंगे, एपीआई जनरेट करेंगे और यूज कर लेंगे। जेमा अगर डेवलप करना है तो कैसे करें, तो उसके लिए मेरे पास 3 तरीके हैं। वैसे मेरा भी यूट्यूब चैनल है और वहां पे भी मैंने इसको एक्सप्लेन किया है कि जेमा को कैसे यूज करना है। तो यहाँ पर पहला तरीका है केगल, जहां से आप जेमा को डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, नो चार्ज, जितना यूज करना है उतना करिए। दूसरा तरीका है जस्ट एक स्लाइड में से हगिंग फेस। दूसरा तरीका है हगिंग फेस। हगिंग फेस दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल। अगर आप सब स्टूडेंट हैं और एआई में जाना चाहते हैं तो आई सजेस्ट कि एक बार हगिंग फेस जरूर देखना। हगिंग फेस एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां पर आप अपना मॉडल डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं और ऐसे कई मॉडल है जैसे आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं और उसे यूज कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा आपको इसमें कोई डाउट हो तो आप मुझे बाद में पूछ भी सकते हैं। अगर आप क्लाउड पर जाना चाहते हैं, मतलब आपने डोमेन बना लिया, अब उसे स्केलेबल करना चाहते हैं, आपको डाउट है कि इसको स्केलेबल कैसे करें, तो आप जेमा का इस्तेमाल वर्टेक्स एआई पे भी कर सकते हैं, जो कि गूगल का एक क्लाउड प्लेटफॉर्म है, जहां पर सारे मॉडल हैं। जेमिनी भी है, जेमा भी है, जेमा के सारे वर्जन है, जहां पर आप अपना कोई भी मॉडल डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं। ये जो है अगला मॉडर्न गार्डन, जहां से आप बहुत सारे मॉडल हैं जिसे आप ले सकते हैं और फिर उसको डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं और इसको आप यहां से भी अपने प्रोजेक्ट को बना के डाल भी सकते हैं और स्केल कर सकते हैं। ये है जेमा को यूज करने के अलग अलग तरीके, ये स्केलेबल बनाने के लिए था। तो ये थे डिफरेंट तरीके जिसकी सहायता से आप लोग जेमा को सिंपल हगिंग फेस से डाउनलोड करिए। क्योंकि अभी आप सब ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट है, प्रोफेशनल्स कम है। कितने प्रोफेशनल्स हैं? 1-2 प्रोफेशनल्स हैं। तो आप तो वर्टेक्स एआई के साथ काम कर सकते हैं, बट लर्निंग के लिए आई विल सजेस्ट कि आप हगिंग फेस का इस्तेमाल करिए या केगल का इस्तेमाल करिए, जहां से आप एक सिंपल जेमा को डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं और यूज करके उसे अपने डेटा सेट के साथ फाइन ट्यून कर सकते हैं। इसका लाइव कोड भी है मेरे पास, जिसे मैंने अपने यहाँ पे ऑर्गेनाइजर से बोल दिया है कि वो आपको व्हाट्सएप पे वो लाइव कोड शेयर कर देंगे। अदरवाइज यूट्यूब पे मेरा पूरा कोड है जिसे आप सीख सकते हैं। फिर भी कोई डाउट होता है तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। तो ये मेरा लिंक्डइन है जहाँ पे आप मुझे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। बट इसको छोड़ने से पहले, लीव करने से पहले मैं आपके सामने एक वीडियो शो करना चाहती हूँ। दिस इज अ वीडियो। ये वीडियो जो है ये मेरी एक ऐप की वीडियो है जो अभी लॉन्च नहीं हुई है, पर बहुत जल्दी लॉन्च होने वाली है। आप लोग इस ऐप को देखिए, ये एक जॉब प्रिपरेशन है, एकेडमिक है, ये हेल्प है, और इसके अंदर मोटिवेशन सेक्शन भी है। सिंपल, आप यहाँ पे लॉगिन करके जब आगे जाएंगे तो यहाँ पे आप जावा के क्वेश्चन जनरेट करा सकते हैं, पाइथन के क्वेश्चन जनरेट करा सकते हैं। मैं अपने प्रोडक्ट का एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं कर रही हूँ, सिर्फ एक यूज केस बता रही हूँ। ये वो ऐप है जैसे मैंने बनाया था और सक्सेसफुली ये मार्केट में लॉन्च भी हो गई थी। लेकिन जैसे ही इसका प्रॉब्लम आया, मेरे पास कई फीडबैक आए। पहला फीडबैक यही कि ये लो इंटरनेट में चल ही नहीं रहा। क्यों नहीं चल रहा? क्योंकि मैं जेमिनी एपीआई यूज कर रही थी, और जेमिनी एपीआई अगर 10-12 यूजर एक साथ उसे यूज करें तो तराशाही हो जाती है, मतलब उसको स्केलेबल करना पड़ता है। अब इसका दूसरा तरीका है कि मैं अच्छे खासे पैसे दूं और अच्छे से स्केलेबल मॉडल लूं, लेकिन मैं स्टूडेंट से पैसा ही नहीं ले रही थी, तो मैं फ्री में इतना बड़ा प्रोडक्शन कैसे दूं? बहुत ज्यादा पैसा लग रहा था, तो फिर मुझे क्या करना था? फ्री में ही चलाना था इसे। तो इसीलिए मैं गई जेमा पे। तो इसके अंदर जेमिनी भी है और जेमा भी है। इसके कुछ पॉइंट हैं जो जेमिनी पे ही चलते हैं, जैसे न्यू वीडियो जनरेट करना, क्योंकि वीडियो तो नेट से ही चलेगी, या अदर चीजें। लेकिन इसके अंदर एक जेमा वर्जन है, वो है आपकी एकेडमिक हेल्प, या आपका ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड। यानी कि अगर आप चाहते हैं कि भाई मेरा कोई कॉलेज का इश्यू है और कोई मुझे अच्छे से पढ़ाए क्योंकि मुझे क्लास में नहीं समझ आ रहा, या मैं हेजिटेशन की वजह से पूछ नहीं पा रहे, तो आप अपना वो प्रॉब्लम अच्छे से इसको बता दीजिए। ये आपको ऑडियो में भी समझा देगा, नॉर्मल भी समझा देगा, और आपकी खुद की भाषा में, यानी अगर हिंदी में समझना चाहते हैं हिंदी में समझा देगा। तो ये जो मॉडल है, दिस इज अ बिग एग्जांपल ऑफ द जेमा, जहां पर मैंने जेमा को यूज किया है। और ये वेबसाइट नहीं है, ये एक मोबाइल ऐप है जो बिना नेटवर्क के आपके मोबाइल पे सक्सेसफुली चल जाएगा। तो ये था ऐप। अब ये नेटवर्क की वजह से यहां भी रुक गया, क्योंकि यहां पे मैंने सिर्फ वीडियो चलाई है, ऐप नहीं चलाई है। वीडियो को नेट की जरूरत है, और अभी वीडियो बिना नेट के चल पाए वो मैंने हैक नहीं किया, वो जल्दी हैक हो जाएगा वो भी। तो फिलहाल के लिए ये था ऐप। सो अगर आपको इससे रिलेटेड कोई डाउट या कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। इधर एनी आइडिया, डाउट? या स्टूडेंट अपनी एपीआई की नहीं लगा सकते।
सॉल्यूशन वी कैन ट्रीट इट एज अ सॉल्यूशन, लाइक स्टूडेंट अपनी एपीआई की लगा दे एप्लीकेशन में अंदर आके, जैसे ही वो अपने डिटेल्स एंटर कर रहे हैं तो
गुड आइडिया, आई विल टेक इट द सजेशन, थैंक यू। इधर एनी क्वेश्चन? नो, नो प्रॉब्लम। आफ्टर दैट लंच टाइम, और आफ्टर द सेशन इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन तो आप मुझे लंच टाइम पे मिल सकते हैं, या बाद में मुझे लिंक्डइन पे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन।
Thank you, ma'am. Your insights truly showed us how to take AI to the next level. A huge round of applause for her once again. We would now like to felicitate you as a token of our appreciation, and for this, I would like to call upon Aditya sir. Ma'am? Please give a huge round of applause.
Thank you, ma'am. Up next is someone who doesn't just power DevOps, he powers experiences. Please welcome Mr. Saurabh Mishra, DevOps leader at TSYS, presenting on powering proactive CX with Gemini, Vertex AI, and cloud-native tools. Let's explore how self-service becomes truly intelligent. Over to you, Saurabh, sir.
Hello. Yeah. So, good. Back side. Excuse me. Okay. Hello everyone, good afternoon, or not afternoon, good noon, good morning to everyone. And I hope I'm audible at back. Can someone raise your hand? Okay, oh, I like that balcony view, the first floor vintage view, yeah, that is the very awesome view, I believe. So this is my first time in this city, and we are Mayor since long, like, we are planning to first time of visit in this city. Like, this is going to be my 5th Cloud Community Day in this session. And this topic I have presented before Ahmedabad, and only one Cloud Community Day this topic is presented. And this topic is one of the very promising, very fascinating topic, like many companies or many organizations adopted nowadays. The thing is, everybody's companies moving towards GenAI, moving towards the Kubernetes, moving towards the microservices. Are they the mainstream? I believe you guys are mostly from the college background, so you have little bit of touch base about the Kubernetes, but still I will try to cover a lot of stuff in this session. I think it's stopped. It's working, okay, perfect. So this topic, if you see there, we are going to be discussing more focusing on the intelligence services. We are mostly discussing about the Google Cloud services and the technology, how we can integrate those technology with the AI and the cloud native. Cloud native is nothing like how we can make it any tools which is ready to use in the cloud. So this is the thing, or this is the agenda I'm going to be covered in today's presentations. First of all, I'm going to explain what's the problem many organizations nowadays is facing that, then how we can shift it from traditional to microservices approach, then what's the benefit, what are the different type of the pillars we have, and then finally we are going to be discuss about whatever the Google unified technical stack we can use and implement those solutions, and then finally how we can leverage this existing technology along with the new trend technology to you can make the use case, or maybe it can be customized, can be your modern use cases, can be your enterprise use case, can be your personal use case as well. So before starting off these sessions, this is a little bit about me. I am Saurabh Kumar Mishra. I am engaged with the Google Cloud almost 2 years now. So earlier I am part of the Google Innovator program that is more specific with your Google Cloud technology. But now last year they have inducted in the group known as the Google Developer Expert Group. And if you see there, besides Google, I have more engaged with the open source technology along with the many Kubernetes technologies, and those are recognition or credentials I have received from the many organizations or many institutes, we can say, over there. I can pause for 2 to 3 seconds. This is my barcode for the LinkedIn. If you wanted to guys to connect over the LinkedIn, you can connect over there as well. Yeah, let's move on. So let's, before starting, first of all, you have to understand the technology. How is the technology transformed from ages to ages? If you're talking about the pre-2000, everybody is talking about the physical servers. Physical servers mean we have the dedicated area known as the data center. On data center, you have to put it your rack on inside the rack. You have put it so many blade servers over there. If you wanted to connect those servers, either you have to connect through the office on-prem environment, or you can connect through the VPN. Then in 2000, there is the one company known as the VMware technology. They have introduced the concept of the OS virtualizations. It means on top of the physical servers, you are putting one of the layers known as the abstraction layer, known as the hypervisor. What's the use case of the hypervisor? You can create the multiple virtual machines on basis of the single physical servers. So in this way, you can better utilize or optimize your system resources over there. In 2006, everybody know the terminology, the cloud computing. So AWS is one of the companies, the product of the Amazon Web Services. They have launched the concept known as the S3. I hope everybody heard the term S3, simple storage services. So this This is the first cloud services is launched in 2006. So what's the difference from earlier technology in the cloud technology? The only and the major difference is like whatever the service you are going to be using cloud computing, you have to just having the access of the internet. So you can access anywhere from the globe, anywhere of the part, you can access those services and you can do whatever you want to do through the cloud computing. In 2008, everybody heard the terms of the DevOps? Anybody know the DevOps? Anybody know the developer? SD? Okay, perfect. How many know the ops team, operation team? Okay. So I will little bit explain why the DevOps is required for the today's world and why the many companies nowadays is shifting toward the DevOps methodology. Then let me cover this portion, then we can go ahead. In 2013, I believe, Docker, they have introduced the concept of the container. I believe everybody heard the Docker and the container, okay? And in 2014, Google open sourced the technology known as the Kubernetes. Kubernetes, everybody here, Kubernetes term. I think there is the one dedicated session on the Kubernetes as well. You can guys just go through end to end over there in the detail. So I'm just little bit to give me the analogy with the real world. Suppose in this hall, we are required to prepare the lunch for the 10 persons, okay? So 10 person you can easily manage. Even you can touch, you can use for the 50% you can prepare over there. If you think the scenarios, we have to prepare the lunch for the 1,000 of participants. So it's very, really difficult over there. So that's why Kubernetes will come into the picture. So in the background, Docker is totally based on the containers. For today's world or for any microservices, there are the more than thousands of containers nowadays is running. To managing those all containers on the unified platform, we need the Kubernetes. We have to orchestrate through the Kubernetes. Then I also add one terminology known as the platform engineering. That is totally introduced in 2017. What's the use of the platform engineering? I'm going to be explaining the complete session over there. So yeah, so platform engineering is something like, suppose, let me explain, developer, who is preparing or making the code over there. Ops team is like once the code in the production's ready, this is the duty of roles and responsibility of the operation to managing those code. But what thing, suppose I'm an ops guy, any application is broken, take the scenario. But I'm not very proficient in terms of the programming language, whether I can fix those solutions over there. So I have to reach out to a developer who developed this code. So what's the problem, like, developer is the generic ready this code, whenever I hand over to operational team, it's not working perfectly. So you have to take care. So if you think about the organization level, there are a lot of trust breaching due to the gapping between the operational team and the ops team over there. So they have introduced the terminology known as the DevOps. DevOps is the guy who is more towards the developer side, but they can also managing your operational stuff altogether over there. Okay? So now let's focus on the platform engineering side. So platform engineering, if you see there, this is one of the discipline through which we are designing and building the solutions or developing the internal developer platform for making the solutions more resilient and more secure way. How I can explain this platform engineering stuff in next slides over there. So take example, I am a developer, I am requesting one of the virtual machine need to be the provisions over there. So what I have to do, as a developer, I have to first of all select the cloud services. Which cloud services we are going to be used, what type of the services we are going to, like we required any the configuration of the VMs, which type of VMs, we have to configure manually, then we have to set up the operating system over there, what are the dependency we have, everything is need to be taken care from end to end. So and then finally, we are waiting for the DevOps guy or maybe the cloud engineer guys to making this VMs provision on but it's going to be delay very long. Like in normal scenarios, in any organization, it will be take around 3 to 4 days to only provision the operating system over there. That's why if you see, let me explain. So I'm a developer, suppose this is operation teams, I'm little bit already explained, this is the silos happening between over there. So through which DevOps is introduced. But if you're talking about, like this is the DevOps engineer, if you just lower down, this is the DevOps engineer through which establish the automation workflow. Everybody know about little bit CI/CD stuff, CI/CD, okay. From right side, anyone know CI/CD? Okay, only few guys, no problem. So DevOps is the team. We are basically making or working on the automation stuff more. Like, they are building the pipeline. They are building mostly on the CI/CD pipeline to automate the end-to-end workflow. Suppose I have any check out the code from the source code as a builder, or sorry, as a developer, that source code is totally automated to push on the production side. So this is one of the major job of your DevOps engineers. So if you see there, this is good for the small scale of the organization. Like we are dealing with about 100 application, maybe the 50 application, it's working perfectly. If you are talking about the enterprise level, it's very difficult to scale at enterprise. Like, we are dealing with the numerous applications in terms of the 1,000, 1,500 applications. Minimum application we are going to be supporting in this case. So this is the optimal approach. Like, that's why the platform engineers come into the picture. If you see there, platform engineer is the single central point of contact on which those guys are providing a platform which are helping to developer. They have to just submitting one of the unified form over there, and they can put the detail over there, and in the back end, the complete automation stuff is going to be run, and they have provisioned the infrastructure within 10 to 15 minutes rather than waiting for 3 to 4 days. So this is the diagram is, if you see there, this is the one of the form is filled by the developer through which he just providing the different configurations of the virtual machines. They are the different security parameters over there. Then they are the few observability tools. Observability tools are nothing, just more focusing on the monitoring side and nothing more than that. And then finally, you are getting the secure cloud environment. Cloud environment is nothing like what type of environment you are looking for. It can be your virtual machines with your, like, database install, your platform side of virtual machine. It can be your software as a services as well. So I know this topic is little bit advanced for the college student, is totally understand, but the motive is that you guys just capture the keywords, trying to be explore at home, try to be learn, and this is the world is going to be next. Like, everybody is talking about Gen AI, but at the core, infrastructure is going to be supported a lot, through which you have to understand each and everything. What is DevOps? What is the infrastructure? What different type of infrastructure we have? In which case, which type of services are going to be used? So you guys just try to be learn the few technology, trying to be learn at home, try to be experiment few the project. Like every companies nowadays, they are talking about the developers. Even nowadays, developer is also moving to other DevOps and the platform engineering. The thing is, whatever you guys are, any developer is going to be developed, we can easily copy from the, any Gen AI tool, and we can do the coding stuff as well. So nowadays, every company is shifting the parallelism on the DevOps side more and the platform engineering side more. Why? If you see there are the few challenges over there if you are dealing or discussing with the organizations. The first of all, any companies don't have any standard way to adopt the different type of the processes over the processes. I'm not talking about the company process, the processes on which every company how we can shift it from the new way of dealing with the technology or technology stack over there. Now everybody is talking about Gen AI, but trust me, 98% organizations even they don't have any production ready product for the Gen AI. All guys are doing some sort of the testing, they are doing POC, they are going to be pilot run, but there is nothing robust solutions they have when dealing with the production heavy solutions over there. Skill gap is one of the major challenges. Nowadays, developer is fine, they are most dealing with the code, but besides developer, you require so many technology. The technology in terms of your CI/CD, in terms of your automations, in terms of your observability, in terms of your Kubernetes, in terms of the container. So nowadays, if you wanted to implement and you wanted to follow the best practices, you have to learn so many technology. But we cannot rely, one of the person who can learn so many things straight away. And the third one, if you see there, the code duplication, the infra-sprawl, like, code duplications is like everybody is still follow the traditional way, like, they are following the old method of the technology. Their code is not very proficient in terms of optimizations, in terms of the refactoring. Refactoring is something like how you can optimize the code from the traditional approach to advanced or more proficient code in nowadays. So if you go there, you are familiar about the Vertex AI. Everybody know the Vertex AI little bit? Vertex AI, Gen AI. Oh, okay. What is Vertex AI, anyone? What is Vertex AI? What is ChatGPT? Okay, understood. So Vertex AI, one of the solutions is totally proposed or implemented by the Google Cloud, on which you are building, testing your different type of the models over there. So once you have, there is the one services they have on which we can refactor the different type of the code. Suppose I'm a Python developer. Sorry, you are a Java code developer. I don't know Java anything. You wanted to migrate and we wanted to refactor those code on the Python. So in Vertex AI, they have the solutions. Like I'm very good in the Python, I can easily replicate each and everything from the Java to Python. Okay? Then another word is like negative cyber events. Like, everybody is very uncertain nowadays. Like every services, anything you are going to guys are going to be used is totally over the internet. And then the cyber threat is the main concern nowadays. Like many ways of cyber attacks nowadays is happening. So nowadays every company is also adopting toward the zero trust approach as well. Zero trust is something like at organization level they are not authenticated. Like even I'm an employee, they are not considering I'm an employee. They are authenticating my authorization from end to end over there. This is here. So nowadays, in the previous slides, I have little bit touched about the internal developer platform, like, how we can increase the developer efficiencies to providing one of the unified form on which they are putting each and every detail and infrastructure is going to be provisioned. But that is, we are discussing at the within organization, intra-organizations level. Now thinking about the customer level. Customer is something like, suppose you guys are interacting with any customer services. So nowadays every every customer is getting very, ready-made answer or maybe the bot answers. Like each and every time you are trying to integrate with the customer service over the chatbot, you are getting very, ready-made answers over there. That is not moving to us from your very proficient and very proactive way discussions we are happening with the customers here. So this is the problem and this is the things we are discussing in terms of the self-services. Self-services, how, like we are an organization, how we can improve our customer self-services to enhance and better interactions with the different customers. So these are the three categories we are discussing over there. First one, if you see that is the frust token. Frust token is something like we are discussing about the frustrations level, how customer is getting frustrated. And now each and every time getting the similar response or the same response when you are interacting with the customer support chatbot. Then customization, like, if you are catering or you are getting the bits good services from any customer services, you have to deploy your customer representative over there. But each and every customer is associated with a certain amount of the cost. Then silocon. Silocon is something like we don't getting anything in terms of our user experience. User experience we have where they are not analyzing anything. They are just putting the standardizations over there. So this is the another factor we are going to be discussing. So if you're talking about any customer perspective, these are the three things we are mostly focusing when we are designing any intelligence services for any organizations. So these are the Gartner, I believe this is the Gartner, not Gartner exactly, this is the survey happening one of the big companies on which if you see there, 70% customer now cloud intelligence is something is very important. Why everybody is discussing about Google Cloud? Why you should the Google Cloud for that one? So first services, they have unified AI ML platform. Unified AI ML platform means they have the ready-made Vertex AI solutions they have. Through the Vertex AI, you can build so many solutions. So I am discussing one of the solutions in terms of how we can refactoring the code. Someone you can also build, they have the ready-made or jump start solutions is something like you have to just use their solutions. Like if you wanted to build your chatbot applications over there, or they have the ready-made solutions over there, you have to just use that services, implement from it. If you wanted to, suppose you wanted to make any solution in terms of your personal learning, or maybe some top of the tutorial learning, they have the ready-made jump start solution, you can use that services. So similar way, they have the many type of the available solutions, but you can also customize as per your need. Then they have the scalable and elastic compute. Elastic compute is nothing like, they are most dealing with the Kubernetes or the container services we have. Container services, everybody know about the container, right? Little bit know about the container. Container is something like, let me explain. There is the one concept is the virtual machine, there is another concept of the container. So virtual machine is something like similar like the operating system on which they are associated with some sort of the system resources. System resource is something like your memory and the CPU. Container is the similar like virtual machines, but they are running as the process. Process as if you are using the task manager, so you can list of the process. So container is the similar like is very lightweight in nature, you can use as the process. So if you suppose any virtual machine is taking 1 or 2 minutes to booting up that restart of virtual machine, it will take 5 to 10 seconds max I'm talking about. So this is the efficient way, or whatever the container you guys are going to be built, that can be platform independent. So take example, if suppose I'm creating the container which is running on the Windows, it should be running on your Linux environment, it can be running on your Mac OS environment. So irrespective of environment, that is a totally platform independent. So this is the differentiation from your standard virtual machines. So whatever the containers we have, those containers we are managing over on Google Cloud through the Cloud Run. So Cloud Run is the environment on which you are fully managing your container applications over there. And to orchestrate all those containers which is running at the organization level or different type of applications, you are managing through the Google Kubernetes engine known as the GKE. Okay? Yeah, so this is another example. Suppose I missed one of the dialog flow box. Dialog flow box is something similar like, suppose if I'm building any chatbot applications, the name in the Google Cloud known as the dialog flow box. So they have ready-made solutions. What you have to do, you have to just implement those solutions and you can use that services. Nothing you have to do. That is totally, there is no customize. You have wanted to do, you can do the customization as per requirement, but for infrastructure side, from programmer side, like this is the low code or no code ready-made solutions they have. Then another one is the Vertex AI. Vertex AI is already covered. Then we have the BigQuery ML. BigQuery ML something like, this is the powerhouse of your data analytic in the Google Cloud. Trust me, there is no better services, irrespective of the cloud vendors you guys are using. The BigQuery is one of the best solutions they have, on which you can do a lot of analytic. You can integrate with the third-party tools through which you integrate your dashboard, prepare your dashboard. You can customize whatever you want in the dashboard concepts. Then we have speech-to-text API. This is one of the APIs I've just mentioned over there. They are similar, there are many ways of like you can also use the text-to-speech, video to image, image to video, video to image. They are the different modality solutions you can implement within your Google Cloud tech stack. Yeah, so this is about the cloud native. Is cloud native something like, we are building the solutions, we are using the solutions on which every solutions you are building or thinking, that is the cloud ready. It means कि जो भी मैं solution propose कर रहा हूँ, अगर मैं ऐसा कुछ बनाना है जिसके through हम लोग cloud की सारी services को use कर सकते हैं. Cloud क्यों use करना है? The thing is, the only two reasons. First one is the cloud is very elastic in nature. It means you can easily scale in, scale out, whatever you want. And then there another nature you can say, the scalability. jitne bhi scale level we wanted to scale those cloud, we can scale over there. So you don't rely on anything in terms of your like infrastructure constraint. Yeah. So if you think the microservices architecture, have you guys heard the term the microservices? Microservices? Anyone? Nothing. Okay, so there's the two terms, is the monolithic and the microservices. So monolithic is the something like we are building any applications. So in the monolithic, whatever the code we are reading, suppose we are building the solutions for the Amazon.com. So for Amazon.com, when we are placing any order, so first of all, we have the one modules, we are catering the search catalog. Another modules we are building, that is, adding those, your product in the cart. Then third solutions, third modules is something like you have to build it to making the payment over there. And another modules you can think about, once the payment is done, finally you are getting the email notification, like, your order is placed and this is everything is there. If you think about that, the four modules we are preparing for this normal solution, normal, use case. So in that, in monolithic, whatever the code we are writing, they are sharing the single code base. Like each and every thing is written in the single file itself over there. In microservices, what's the difference? Everything is we are decoupled. Decoupled is like whatever the codes you are going to be written for this use case, we have the different four modules, and those four modules is completely independent to each other. Okay? So if you wanted to make any small change or any minor change in any of the modules, it can be easily managed in terms of the microservices over there. Then containerization is already covered, like, and I'm also running out of time, so let me cover fast. Then another principle is the CI/CD pipeline. So CI/CD is something like is very important. You have to, whatever the background you guys are studying, CI/CD is very important. CI is something like continuous integration, and CD is something like continuous deployment or delivery over there. So suppose any programmer, any developer making any change or any check out the code, so that is going to be trigger your CI pipeline, something like continuous integration pipeline. In what happened in the CI, they are building the code, all the code is going to be built, the code is going to be secure, go through in the different is going to be built. So artifact is nothing like your finally image is going to be built for that code. And CD stuff, what is going to be over there? Whatever the image or latest image you guys are built, that is finally is going to be deploy on your target system. Target system can be anything, your virtual machine, your Kubernetes, your container, anything over there. So this is the beauty of the CI/CD. So nowadays, every company is following the philosophy of the agile methodology. So suppose I wanted to make any new feature in our product, you can easily achieve in very faster way through the CI/CD over there. Then comprehensive observability. Observability is something like, this is the more advanced for the monitoring. Suppose any request is, nowadays every company is using the multi-cloud setup, like, they don't know anything, which when request is flow end-to-end. And if any latency is happening in any component or any spam of your the complete flow, so it's very difficult to figure out now where is the issues happening over there. So to overcome those issues or those problems, we have implemented the observability. So there are so many tools over there as well to catering those services. So I believe this is already covered in the previous slide, is something like is the internet developer platform. How we can build internal developer platform is specific on the Google Cloud. So first of all is the developer portal. So nowadays Backstage is very famous. If you wanted to use the Backstage tool, integrate with your GKE, you can beautifully build up your self-services solutions over there. Then infrastructure as a code. Infrastructure is a code like we are doing automation in terms of the coding as well. Suppose you are provisioning any operating system, any infrastructure, so that can be easily achieved through your Terraform. I believe everybody, you guys heard the term of the Terraform. So Terraform is one of the example of the infrastructure as a code. Then CI/CD is already covered. Then something is like automated environmental provisioning. Yeah, so this is something like, if suppose This is the mixing of your code as well as, event-driven architecture. Event-driven architecture is something like, suppose I'm going to be add any images of anything. Then if once I have upload or you can add the images, then only this thing is going to be happen. So this is one of the example of the event-driven architecture or event-driven scenarios. So I believe this is already covered. These are the, I have time, 2 minutes? I don't have? 2 minutes, yeah? Okay, so this is the outcomes, like, what's the benefit you are going to be used once implemented your self-services or platform over there. So these are the things, I'm not going the detail, but yeah, these are the things you can integrate, you can achieve once implemented those platform engineering. Yeah, this is the future vision, is something like what's going to be things about, suppose as year of 2030. So more companies nowadays, more going on the platform engineering side, proactive self-service side, on which they are going to be embedded with the different AI solutions they have. AI is also going to be advanced day by day. So how can achieve the best optimized solution or proactive solutions for those. Then Gen AI integration, something like whatever the content you are generating nowadays, the different AI tools or transformers tools we have, how you can, beautify, how can, optimize, how can you make the better relevant results over there as well. Then we have the omni-channel expansion. Omni-channel is something like, there are so many tools nowadays is catering like WhatsApp images or WhatsApp services or WhatsApp broadcasting. How can you use those messaging platform to the different cloud providers or different cloud solutions they have. So this is, we can flow the communication to the customer, we can reach those communication to the customers. So this is one of the example of the omni-channels we have. Then enhanced personalization. Suppose I'm very much interested in terms of buying anything. So I'm a big fan of the clothes, maybe the jeans or shoes. Whatever the user preference behaviors we have, your interest to have. So they are thinking to build solutions that is user specific rather than providing the generic, solutions for that user. So these are the few examples on which they have really used this platform and implemented those solutions end to end. So I believe Spotify, everybody knows, this is the music platform. So in the back end, they are using the complete platform engineering stuff, and they are using specific tool known as the backstage. Then ENG is something like, this is the one of the bank, Australian New Zealand bank. They are totally using GCP platform. On top of that, they have building the platform engineering or internet developer platform over there. And that's it, I believe. I don't have any time for, question in here. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks to listening to me. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Mishra. That was DevOps with a customer first soul. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? We would like to call Aditya sir to give you our little token for appreciation.
Also guys, we have some incredible cool aesthetics, selfie booths and picture stands that are just begging for you to be discovered. During lunch, you can sneak over to these spots, snap some cool pictures and post them. Don't forget that we have a social media competition running, and the winner will get some exclusive envy-inducing snack. And for those of your friends who are at home and couldn't attend today's event, we are live on YouTube on our official GDG Cloud Bhopal channel, so that they miss out on all the fun that we're having right now.
I know your minds are full and your stomach might be empty. But before we eat, let's create a beautiful memory.
That's right. Please, let's all gather for a big GDG family picture just outside the hall. The central doors will be open soon, and we would like to request everyone to move out for a big GDG Cloud family picture. Our photographers are ready, and we have a beautiful, beautiful background set up for our family picture. We request everyone to please maintain decorum and show utmost respect while taking the picture.
Once the picture is done, we'll be moved forward to the lunch. The lunch distribution will be done in batches to ensure smooth process for everyone. This is great opportunity to network and have great conversation over food. Please behave responsibly during lunch. For those of you who will be waiting for lunch, we have some fun planned. We will be showing a few light-hearted memes that every cloud enthusiast will appreciate to keep energy light.
Please be seated for a while. We'll be soon going out for the family picture. I would request the last line to please get up and start moving for the family picture. I would request all the participants to please move out quickly.
Afternoon, or not afternoon, good noon, good morning to everyone, and I hope I'm audible. Many companies or many organizations this topic, if you see there, we are on good. First of all, I'm going to explain what I am part of the Google Opinion Innovator. The only and the major difference is like
जी तो जस्ट अब मैं बताऊं कि मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ मेरा हार्दिक शर्मा। आप कुछ लोग नहीं जानते, बात नहीं है आज। तो यार बात थी कि उन दोस्तों एक जमाने में एक जगह तो शायद वो लोग अभी वही, आप लोग समझ ना पाए पहला गाने आज भी फिर बेकरार मन करता है उन लोगों से मिलने का, राइट? तो उन सबसे फिर बात करने का, फिर वही सारे याद करने का। पड़ोसियों की घंटियां बजा बजा के भग जाया करते थे। मैं तो बहुत का नहीं पता, इतनी शांति से बैठे थिंक बहुत ज्यादा सब यहाँ पर। खैर, तो मेरे ऑडियो फाइल्स के लिए एक और चैलेंज मेरी तरफ से। वैसे पहले कितने सारे लोग हैं जो फर्स्ट इंट्रो को पहचान गए थे? ऑफ यू देम? हाँ ठीक है, काफी हर ठीक है। तो अब आप एक और टास्क छोटा सा देख, रेडी? छोटा सा देखते हैं आप। बाद में कोई गाना इसको सुन हो था प्यार होना था प्यार हुआ यार होना था प्यार हुआ मेरे यार होना था प्यार हुआ मेरे यार होना था मेरे यार तेरे में मेरा हो गया सपना तेरा था वो मेरा हो गया बनकर कौन गया, कौन है जो दिल पे छा गया, ये दीवानगी है क्या, ये बेमानियां को न लो हल्का सा कोई राग दो, मेरी आंखों में है मेरी और तुमसे क्या कोई मिल गया, मिल गया अब बताऊंगा मैं मिल गया, कोई मिल गया
can have a group photograph and then we can quickly resume the sessions. Thank you. Vansh, can you check backstage if there are speakers? Can you call them? After this photograph with all the speakers, I can ask my volunteers if they are present in the hall. You can also join. And I will all be also clicking one selfie. So I want you all to be smiling. I think you all had your lunches. Are you energized? Are you excited for next half? Awesome. Thank you.
सॉरी मुझे सुना नहीं. हाउ इज द जोश? अमेजिंग. ऐसे ही अपन एक और सेल्फी लेंगे अभी. सो लेट्स फर्स्ट टेक द फोटो विद द स्पीकर्स.
गाइस आप भी खाना खाकर आए हो यार, प्लीज थोड़ा तो जोश और दिखाओ. Can we again please get a huge round of applause for all our amazing speakers and panelists?
Should I begin?
हेलो चेक.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, tech fams, lunch is done, the energy is up, and it's time to switch from food mode back to full-on geek mode.
We've got some incredible minds waiting to take the stage, and trust me, the second half is going to be as lit as the first. So let's kick off with our next speaker, who's all set to make you rethink what's possible.
Next up is a man who guards the gates of artificial intelligence, a true architect of secure system. Please welcome Mr. Biswanath Giri, Cloud and AI Principal Architect at LTI, Mindtree, as he speaks on how to secure AI workloads. Because in the AI world, it's not just about intelligence, it's about trust. Over to you, sir.
हेलो. लंच के बाद सबको नींद आ रहा होगा, राइट? ग्रेट. उसमें प्रॉब्लम होगा, ये नहीं चल रहा. ठीक है, मैं जब आपको देखूंगा ना इस तरफ, तब स्लाइड चेंज करना. हेलो एवरीवन, चलो लेट्स गेट रेडी. ग्रेट. ओके. हेलो एवरीवन.
everyone. Namaste, Bhopal.
Sound is very low, I think. Maybe some some technical glitch, so be patient.
Okay, bye.
सर कौन सा है? Which one?
नहीं ये नहीं.
Hello everyone. Namaste, Bhopal.
क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? इसके साथ भी कनेक्टेड नहीं है, स्पीकर के साथ.
नहीं आ रहा अभी.
Hello everyone. Namaste Bhopal.
How's the juice? Great. So now, my name is Vishwanath Giri. I am working as a Google Cloud and AI Principal Architect. I am having 16 plus years of experience, and I am 11 Google Cloud certified, Microsoft and AWS and HashiCorp certified as well. So now let me move on to next slide, please. So I have already 27 talk already covered across the India. Like, you know, these are the city which I have already covered. So the actual topic which I am going to talk, nowadays we are talking about AI, and we are deploying AI. But the main concern is how we'll secure our AI. That's the agenda. So चलो शुरू करते हैं. So before going to explain the talk, first I'd like to discuss what are the challenges we are facing, right? So in the talk, I'll cover like challenges, then the three part of this talk, like how we'll deploy during the deploy, after deployment, and then how we'll secure that application, right, generally. So the major concern of the AI nowadays, the data poison. If your data is not clear, then data should be a sensitive data, should not be enabled for everyone, right? So don't want to enable the sensitive data. The second one, suppose you want to provision a chatbot, but your chatbot providing the response like, you know, some misguiding to you. For example, talking about some competitor, talking about something else which is not required, right? Now, for example, in your social media content you are going to create. Then in social media content, suppose the behavior is not good, like, you know, some offensive content which you are getting whenever you are creating a social media content. So these are the challenges, like lots of challenges we are facing nowadays when we are moving towards AI application. The thing is that how we can secure all these challenges when we are going to deploy our AI application. So these are the 7 steps which we'll check, and if you will follow that, then definitely your AI application will be secure, right? So basically we have a 4 major area. Whenever we are going to deploy any of the AI workload, one thing we'll focus on how to create a model. Then application, like what are the application is required to deploy that model. Then we need a infrastructure. Without infrastructure, your AI workload will not be run, because high configuration infrastructure is required to run your AI workload. Now, data is very important, right? Without data, we cannot deploy any model, right? So these are the 4 major areas. So Google providing a secure AI framework. In the secure AI framework, Google checking all these layer to protect the AI workload, right? So basically, this is the 5 pillars where how we can secure our AI workload. First layer, we'll talk about data. How we secure our data. So one option is customer manage encryption key, and we need to enable our sensitive data we need to enable in our platform, right? So first we'll think of like how we'll secure our data. The second pillar, infrastructure. How we'll secure your infrastructure. Infrastructure for AI workload, it's a large infrastructure is required. Infrastructure is nothing but your CPU, memory, hardware, all that infrastructure where you are deploy the actual application. Then we'll go to model. So whenever you are create a AI application, then we need a model. First we create a model, then in this slide, like I'll talk about like how we'll secure your model. So that I'll explain in the slide. So model security, the options which we have a model armor, so which we can secure our model. Now coming to the network. So in networking, we have firewall, we have VPC Service Connect, we have IAM. So many way which we can secure our network in cloud, right? So in cloud, how we can secure our network? Because network is nothing but the communication, whether you're internal user or external user, how they will communicate, right? Then the security is the major concern to protect, allow or deny. Now coming to the application part. So suppose your application deployed in your all set, your application will go live. Then you need an application where you need to deploy. But in the application side also you need the protection or need to secure your application as well. Whether you are an internal user or the external user who is accessing that application, right? Move on to next slide, please. So now I'll be talking about the application, how we'll secure. Like the prompt injection and the model armor. These are the two major areas which we'll have to look into it. Like in model armor, it will be like, I'll give you a real example. For example, आपने शॉपिंग करने गया, शॉपिंग करने के बाद आपको चेक होता है, फिर आपने रिटर्न आया, रिटर्न आने के बाद आपको सिक्योरिटी गार्ड पूछता है तुम जो शॉपिंग किया तुम स्लिप दिखाओ और क्या क्या लिया चेक होता है. So model armor is nothing but will be doing like this. First, whatever the prompt you will be putting, that will check initially. Then whatever the response will coming from the LLM, again it will check and validate. Then it will pass on to the end user. Generally model armor यही काम करता है, right? And this is the high level architecture of model armor. User when put the prompt, then the various check like how will enable to check sensitive data, right? How injection, whatever the SQL injection or any anomaly is happening. So it will be check either or. Incoming, whenever you are putting the prompt and when you will getting the response from your LLM, then it will again check. Then at last it will be getting the response the end user. So this is all about the high level architecture of model armor. Now let me move on to next slide. So this is one of the architecture which we are actually the user is using that. For example, you are a end user, then you are putting some prompt to get the response. How the model armor it will prevent it. So for that we need to write a allow policy and deny policy inside the model armor. Then it will be helping to protect the whatever the unnecessary thing is happening, it will be protected. So the LLM, like whether you are using Gemini or OpenAI or open source LLM, whatever you are using, but it will be protect either or. And I will talk about the Google Cloud Platform. So application where we want to deploy, whether we can deploy into Compute Engine, GKE or Cloud Run or App Engine. These are the options where we can deploy your application, right? So basically, generally nowadays we are deploying AI workload or AI application in Cloud Run mostly, right? But how we'll secure our AI application? Model armor will help us to secure our AI workload. So how it looks like in Google Cloud Platform? This is the console, and in the left hand side, just you have to create a policy. That policy will attach with your backend, then it will start work to protect, right? So the actual deployment, suppose during the deployment, whenever you are going to create a model, first of all you need a data, right? So in data, what you will do, will clean the data and the process the data, right? Then you retrain the model and test the model. I mean, one of the feedback loop you need to follow. Then actual model will be tested whether it is working properly or not. You need to check. Then you will go for your deployment into production or any of the other environment as well. But this is the whole deployment process of how you gather the data, how clean the data and process the data and retrain the model. Anyone here to deploy the model? Anyone? Raise your hand here. No one. Okay, understood. So you can take some idea about this process, how whenever you are going to do something, so this is the whole high level process you need to follow to create a model. And if I'll talk about during the deployment of the model, we need a pipeline. I mean CI/CD, some DevOps you need, right? So in the DevOps, so for example, developer writing a code, but that code ultimately, this is not the proper code. There are some error, lots of things are there, but how we need to validate? So this is the high level slide, like how whenever you are submitting a bad code, that how we can check it, how we can correct it, right? Then if we go to the model source or train the model, then during the training model also how we can check and how we can detect that and fine tune that should not be compromise your training model. If your model is unnecessary data, if your model is trained with some unnecessary data, ultimately you will be getting the wrong information whenever you will ask something, right? So that's why during the deployment you need to check, validate, then create a model. This is all about, but how to do that? There is a 6 tool, one of the open source, which we can integrate and you can check your whole deployment to create a model, right? And for example, you are the developer, but I'll talk about the end user, how will protect. We just discussed about like developer, how to, during the deployment, how we can check and create a model. But the end user, for example, some end user model is already done, then deployed, but end user accessing to that model, right? To get the access, then how to filter out the user is valid or user is a hacker. So that we need to check and protect, right? So in this architecture, so Google Identity Aware Proxy you need to configure to check whether you are a valid, whether the external user is a valid or it's a not valid user. Ultimately, whenever we are deploying any of the application into Cloud Run, but the whole process, developer is writing the code, then push into the code into the version control. Once your code is into version control, it will be in Google Cloud. We have a service called Cloud Build that will ultimately create a cloud build and cloud deploy altogether. Otherwise, some other service we have, code deploy, that will be helpful to deploy. Then you can deploy your code into Cloud Run. Ultimately, your AI-based applications, that's why the LLM or maybe Gemini Pro 2.5 Flash or Pro, you will be calling to your program, then ultimately your application will be successfully deployed into Cloud Run. But the question is here, how we protect our end user, those who are accessing to our AI-based application, right? So now, Gen AI, we are just secure during the deployment, after deployment, but in our AI for security and security for AI, these are the two terms. First, whatever we are doing in AI, we just follow the process how to secure the AI application. But after deployment, everything is ready, then it is up and running in production. But AI will help you to secure your environment or whatever the application is already deployed. AI will help to track that if is there any issue. I mean either or. During the deployment will validate. After deployment will validate. Then security for AI and AI for security. This is the two term. During the deployment and before deployment we'll check. After deployment AI will help us to secure the environment. So, and after deployment we have a model called SEC LLM. If we will configure that, so definitely it will help us to secure your AI workload in your where you have deployed the AI application, right? So now that's all. You can follow me. This is my QR code. And if you have any questions related to this topic, you can ask me. I am here.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the sessions.
A masterclass in cloud security. Thank you, Mr. Giri. A huge round of applause for him once again. We would now like to felicitate you as a token of our appreciation. I would like to call Mr. Shashank, sir, and Mr. Giri.
Also, before we move on to our next speaker, I guess someone has left their keys. It has Tom and Jerry. Please collect it from here. Anyways, moving forward, Kubernetes may sound intimidating, but not when you're guided by the best. Please welcome Mr. Parth Arora, Senior Software Engineer at IBM India, with his beginner-friendly session on Kubernetes for Beginners, your first step into cloud native. Can we get a huge round of applause for him? Over to you, Parth.
Check.
Hello. Good afternoon, guys. I would be talking about Kubernetes today. Myself, Parth Arora, thanks for good introduction. I've been working with IBM Storage, and basically I work with an open source software that is called as Rook Operator. It's a storage orchestrator for Kubernetes. And if you guys are interested in open source contribution, we can talk after this talk. We also have like Google Summer of Code opportunities with that open source project. I've been into like 5 years now with this project, so I can like help you guys and we can have it for a Google Summer of Code. Okay, so today's agenda would be very basic as it's a very short talk. So I will just cover very basics so you can have it and later we can have some deep dives. So the first would be about what are containers, why there is Kubernetes, what's the architecture of it, and let's see if we can have a real demo for that. So I want to like understand, like everyone is saying containers, Kubernetes, want to understand what guys you know first. So raise your hand if you know, like if you have like know what Kubernetes is or you have learned about Kubernetes. Raise your hand. Oh, I have very few. Anyone have like deployed Kubernetes or introduction? No one. Okay, then this would be a great session for you guys, like to understand this. And if it interests you, then you can make your career out of that also. So yeah, let's start with containers. So you guys might be doing some coding, basic coding in your college, right? And you would be sharing codes with your friends. So you develop a code, you share it with your friend, and your friend says, it doesn't work in my computer. That's a very basic problem that everyone sees, right? So what happens at the end is like you develop a code, you put it to GitHub or some GitLab, your friends download it, but what happens is the dependencies that your project had in your own laptop doesn't has in your friend's laptop, and that's why it doesn't work. Second, you might have some system settings, your laptop own settings that your friend doesn't have. So that's why it doesn't work in your friend laptop. So what container does is like it package your code with your dependencies, your system settings, and create a container out of that with all of the code and the package and the system settings and push it to a registry. You can push it online. Your friend can consume that container, use that, it will work all. There would be no error, no such error that dependencies are not found. So that's the basic what container is. You're packaging your code with all the libraries and your settings that you have. That's the basic container is. And what we get building that, like your friend won't run off that the code is not working. So basically the benefits are like it's immutable. That means once you have created a container, that will work all over the world. It won't change. Any software, any computer you download that, it will work as it is. That is working on your computer. So that's the first benefit that we get. Second, isolation. It's a C groups isolation, not going into deep dive. It's like just, it won't consume any other process that are working. It's isolated between if two containers are running together, they are totally isolated. Within the resources also. Resources are CPU and memory. So it won't touch the other container that's running in your laptop. It's basically a faster than what ideal VM virtualization is. So that's why we use containers these days. But VMs are still valid, but it's a faster process than a VM. And multi-cloud will go deep into that later. So I hope like you might get a good idea what a container is and why we need a container. And now you see like so many containers at this image. So let's say big organizations like big banks, by Bank of America and all. What they have big applications. And like every coming day, there are new applications that are coming around. So we have to deploy new containers with that. And there are so many containers at the end of the day. And to manage each container, a container is good in shape, container is healthy, container is running fine with resources. You have like, you need manpower for that, right? To look at each container, it's running fine or not. So what we have done is like we have developed an open source mechanism that is called as Kubernetes, just to manage number of containers that you are creating. So it's the start, like how you are going to cloud native. You have heard of monolith, but this is how, like basic starts of microservices. So now the topic, Kubernetes. So what's that? So you might have understood what Kubernetes is already. It's the managing your containers that are being developed again and again day by day. So it manages. It's the manpower, a software that reduces that manpower to manage containers. What it will do, you will say, I need this application running at this place. It will go and deploy it for you. If anything fails, it will take care of that. If anything fails, let's say you have an application that is running at US, Europe, and India. Anything fails as Europe, the Europe request will come to India. India requests are still valid. So that's the redirection it will take. So it's basically automatically deployment, auto scaling. If your server load increases, what it will do? It will increase your number of containers automatically based on your load. Let's say you have a sale today and the sale page will go hanged because there will be too many requests. Let's say Coldplay tickets, everything Hotstar was down, right? Not the Hotstar, the platform that book my show, right? So it will scale automatically if they would have choose Kubernetes for the ticket booking. So, and it's a self-healing, like let's say that Europe node would have been gone down. So it will self-heal, it will try to self-heal and recover from that, no user intervention. And rollouts and rollbacks, we would have heard about this Microsoft blue screen. It was very recent, right? So what it can help is, if something is rolled out which is bad, it can help you roll back also at the production level. So that's another benefit. So too much of Kubernetes now, I'm not going to give more onto that. Just a simple architecture, what it is. You can see this picture. You can see the control plane at the left side, and there are different nodes at the right side. So don't get too much into that. It's just that the left side is the brain, and the right side is your main containers that are running. Simple as that. You can go deep dive into that, but I will just give one line of what components look like in this architecture. So the Kube API server is the thing, like you have created REST APIs, right? So you need something to talk to Kubernetes. So that's the Kube API server. You will talk to Kubernetes with the API server. Simple. So whenever, like, I will say deploy my Amazon, like let's say we have built an Amazon, deploy my Amazon, it will go to Kube API server. Then Kube API server will say, I have to deploy this. Scheduler will say, I have this machine empty. I have machine empty at India and Europe. Go and schedule that in India and Europe. That will be scheduled. And what kubelet does is, it's a sub manager. Let's say scheduler and this control plane is your CTO, CEO, and that is your engineer manager, the kubelet. So CTO will decide, like, I need to grow my business to 2 billion, and engineer manager will forces on sub-tasks per team, right? So that's what kubelet does per node. So it will manage pod at per node. A node is nothing, it's a compute. It's a machine. You can have your own laptop as a compute. You can have a server, a GCE, if we are Google Cloud, everyone would have known GCE, Google Compute Engine. So let's say one GCE, second GCE. So that GCE manager is kubelet, and the whole architecture is control plane. That's the big brain. That's the ET out of it. So that's how it works internally. There are so many features that internally is being done here. Scheduler is scheduling that. Controller manager is seeing that, watching. Let's say your node is going down, it will watch it and see, like, my node is going down, I will report it to the user. So that's how internally you can have your internal business logic. Very basic example, you have an AC at home, right? So you would be having a controller in it. You said, have the temperature of this room as 24 degrees Celsius. So what controller will does, it will watches that what's the current temperature. Let's say currently it's 26. So still give more gas to it, so it can go to 24. Once it goes to 24, then it will go and stop. So that's how this working is. Whatever you say as a business logic, it will reconcile and make the state happen for that software to happen. So a quick demo of a e-commerce platform. Yeah, let's try how it goes. So I have recorded it, as live demo is always breaking. Okay. Is the font clear at the back side? Maybe I can. Yeah, I guess this is the downloaded one. I can try this. So this is a Kubernetes cluster. So what we do is we install Kubernetes on Minikube. Minikube is a software that's used with developers to deploy Kubernetes. For mainframe, for production, we have different systems, but for developers and learners, we use Minikube. It's an easy plugin that helps to give you a Kubernetes cluster. And now what I will do is, I will create a checkout page. Let's say today is a sale of Amazon, and there will be so many users that would be coming to Amazon, and so many users that would be booking it final to the payment, because most of the payments will happen today. So let's say I have deployed that today with a pod. So pod is the basic unit here. It's a container. Let's say I have created a container for that Amazon, and that Amazon container has been deployed to Kubernetes. So this is, let's say, an Amazon checkout page. It's having these